Talking about the possibility of a wintry mix for a few parts of the state in the early part of the day.
Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank, who's tracking everything tonight. Rachel, when can we expect everything to start?
And just in the pre-dawn hours, it's going to be super duper light, and then by mid to late morning, we'll really see things pick up. But there's just enough cool air as the system gets close enough to us that we could begin with a brief wintry mix or some snowflakes. Now, we have issued this alert for northern Litchfield County, where there is a winter weather advisory in effect starting at 2 a.m. and continuing until 10 a.m. You may want to use extra caution just in case there's a few slippery spots and maybe a little bit of extra drive time. But again, for 99.9% of us, we are talking about just wet roads for the drive. Right now, temperatures are in the 30s, but we are inching closer to the freezing point, even below freezing in Torrington right now, where there is a winter weather advisory in effect. So just in the pre-dawn hours, we see some light rain and snow develop. And again, there could be snow in other areas away from the Connecticut shoreline, but it's going to be pretty hit or miss and I think tough to accumulate. Still, check in with the Fox 61 morning show crew just in case. 7 a.m. It's still pretty light out there, but notice after that we see things really fill in. We'll see rain come down heavily at times as we head through the course of the day on Monday, and this will all wind down as we head into Monday night. So I think the evening commute is looking much better. So a chilly start, brief mix changing to rain, and it's just a rainy Monday. Monday really looking and feeling like a Monday to start off the week. We'll talk about where we go from here coming up. And we have a weather impact alert for a not so nice Monday. Rain could start off briefly as a mix. We have a soaking rain on the way tomorrow. Anywhere between a ½ inch to about an inch of rain is expected. I think I started this off a little too late, which is why it's not giving accurate measurements. But we do have a weather impact alert in effect for northern Litchfield County. It starts at around 2 a.m. and continues until 10 a.m. And that's the reason we have issued this alert, because there could be a few sneaky slippery spots there with initially just enough cold air for that rain to start off as a few snowflakes or a brief mix. Again, I think for 99% of us, this is not going to be an issue tomorrow, more of a curiosity than anything else, but we don't want anyone to get caught off guard. And check in with the Fox 61 morning show crew just in case there are some slippery spots out there to begin the day. Here's a look at the satellite and radar, and you'll see this disturbance approaching, but temperatures are dropping out ahead of this system. So that's why we're seeing 32 for Windham, 38 a current temperature right now in Meriden, and 42 for the New Haven area, with overnight lows in the 30s for most of the state and close to freezing, which is why we think we could start off as that mix, and maybe even in the upper 20s for some of our cooler spots in northeastern Connecticut. So before daybreak, here we are at 4 a.m. starting to see that light mix develop, and notice it's pretty patchy in nature here at around 7 a.m. So a few flakes possible out there, and maybe even a brief period of some freezing rain with temperatures close to freezing and rain falling from the sky. So roads may need to be treated in northern Litchfield County. Elsewhere, notice as we head towards 8, 9 a.m., temperatures are above freezing, and we're dealing with rain. And that rain could come down heavily at times as we head towards lunchtime, and it'll all come to an end between 4 and about 6 p.m. So around 4 p.m. for parts of western Connecticut, but it may take until around 6 o'clock to dry things out for eastern areas. We do need the rainfall. Believe it or not, we are still in a moderate drought across most of the state, and we're not expecting any flooding. So yay to that, but yeah, it's not a beautiful looking Monday. We're looking at high temperatures that'll climb into the 40s, near 50 degrees for the Connecticut shoreline. Heading into your Tuesday, we'll begin the day with a lot of sun, but we'll see increasing clouds as we head through the afternoon. High temperatures climbing into the lower to middle 50s. And then on Wednesday, we do have the chance for a few showers. Right now, the odds of us getting steady rain look lower than they did a couple of days ago. However, we'll have to watch to see if this system kind of comes back to us as we head through time. If it does trend back in our direction, there is a chance that once again we could start out as a wintry mix before things get going. So we're keeping an eye on Wednesday. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. So that weather impact alert until 10 a.m. for northern Litchfield County. Otherwise, we're looking at temperatures in the mid 50s as we head through your Tuesday. Increasing clouds. A shower or two on Wednesday will let you know if we need to make that a heavier rainfall. For Thursday, we're close to 50, looking beautiful on Friday. And then over the weekend, once again, there is a chance for some storminess. Is it more Saturday or Sunday is the question at this point. So if you do have
things right now, Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank timing everything out.
So Rachel, the biggest concerns with this is that it will be happening during the morning commute. So when will the weather move out of the area?
It'll move out of the area right around or before sunset. We're thinking by 5 or 6 o'clock for most of the state, but by then it will be rain. And I think it'll be just in the pre-dawn hours and then just post daybreak that we could see a few snowflakes initially. And there is a winter weather advisory in effect for northern Litchfield County. That's where the biggest concern is for a few slippery spots early tomorrow. Other inland areas could begin as a few snowflakes or a light mix, but we're not expecting much of an impact there. So for most of us, the roads are just wet for the morning drive, and any early mix should quickly transition over to rain. But check in with the morning show crew just in case. They'll let you know if there are any trouble spots out there to start off the day. And we're expecting anywhere between ½ an inch to about 1 inch of rain to come down. And here's a look at the system. Initially, the leading edge will likely dry up, so I don't think it's as close as it actually looks on the radar. But here's the concern. Again, temperatures dropping out there. I do think they will rise again as we head towards daybreak, but maybe not fast enough. Here's the good news. Around daybreak and for the morning commute, a lot of the precipitation that's out there, and again, you can see a few flakes out there for various locations inland. It's pretty light and patchy in nature. That'll help us, but watch this. 9 a.m. things have really started to fill in, rain for much of the state. But again, where we have that winter weather advisory and weather impact alert, there could be a few areas where things stay icy a bit longer. Otherwise, it's just a wet Monday. Make sure you grab the umbrella and keep it with you all day long before things improve heading into the evening commute. We'll take a look at where we go from here. Your full forecast coming up in just a bit. A very dreary, rainy Monday in store, and just to keep things interesting, a few snowflakes in parts of the state to kick things off. We have a weather impact alert for that. Your full forecast coming up. We have a rainy Monday, so grab the umbrella, keep it with you. I think any precipitation that starts off right around daybreak is super light in nature, but we could see a brief wintry mix for some away from the Connecticut shoreline. A few snowflakes trying to mix in. There is a winter weather advisory in effect for northern Litchfield County, so that's why we have the weather impact alert in effect, where there could be a few renegade slippery spots through about 9 or 10 a.m. But for the vast majority of the state, we are just expecting damp, if not wet roads, and you should be okay heading off to work and school. Check in with the Fox 61 morning show crew just in case. We're talking about anywhere from ½ an inch to about 1 inch of rain. And while this all gets started just around or before daybreak, it'll all come to an end just before the sun ends up setting. And we might even see some bonus late day clearing. We'll cross our fingers and hope for it. Here's a look at the satellite and radar, and you'll see that system advancing. Even though it looks like it's moving through eastern Pennsylvania, there is so much dry air over us. I think the first few rounds will probably end up evaporating. Either way, temperatures are cooling off out there, which is why we could see a few renegade snowflakes before we transition fairly quickly over to rain. Overnight lows in the upper 20s for Windham, for Putnam, near 30 degrees in Torrington, and mid to upper 30s for the Connecticut shoreline. So here's a look at the future radar. 7 a.m. This is what I'm talking about, it being pretty light in nature here right around daybreak and for the commute. So this should kind of keep us from having very many issues, except for in the hills where it may linger a bit longer. Here we are at 10 a.m. Noticing most of the state is getting rain. Rain coming down heavily at times through the course of the day. And here we are at 5 o'clock. We're already seeing the last raindrops falling in eastern Connecticut before things fully come to an end. Heading into the day on Tuesday, we begin the day with sunshine. We'll see increasing clouds as we head through the afternoon and highs in the 50s. Now, Wednesday's a really close call. There is a storm that'll be developing offshore. If it gets closer to us, we are looking at rain, possibly mixing in with a little bit of snow, kind of similar to what we have in the forecast for tomorrow. Again, not much in the way of impact, but the latest trend has been to keep this offshore. So we'll be watching this just to make sure there's no funny business and it doesn't come back to us heading into Wednesday. So we've kept the chance for a shower in the forecast on Wednesday. But again, the latest trends have been to bring that system away from us. So during the day tomorrow, we're looking at high temperatures in the mid-40s for the Hartford area, but milder near 50 degrees for the Connecticut shoreline. During the day on Tuesday, we are looking nice and brighter. Highs in the low to mid-50s, a really nice day to spend outside if you have a chance to carve some time for yourself outdoors. Here on Wednesday, we're looking at slightly cooler temperatures and that chance for a couple of showers. We'll be watching that offshore storm. On Thursday, we're close to 50. Thursday and Friday, both looking great. There is a chance, though, for some storminess over the weekend, and the question is it Saturday or Sunday? 6 or 7 days out, it could be neither, but that's kind of the next storm signal.